Guys, we're saving 50% of our income at the very least. And we're running through these 5 major audits right now to save even more. Lifestyle creep just creeps in like that creepy thing that it is into all of us. But here's what I'm doing. First of all, stack your savings. The normal way most people behave is living our lives from our paychecks in our accounts. When we live paycheck to paycheck, luxuries become necessities with no discipline, and we get that lifestyle creep and stressed with making our months balance.
That's stupid.
This is even a problem where your income is increasing, and when you were saving a nice chunk of your salary before, a percentage of income isn't as much when you start making more money. If you're finding that your income is increasing or you have been given a raise, try to develop habits that increase your saving slowly. The easiest way to do that is with a budget. But if you're not quite sure about budgets, you can have a pay yourself first approach, where you can start by paying yourself into your savings account an extra amount of, say, I don't know, £100, then increase that amount every few months. There's also another tactic where you have a pay increase. You slice at least 50% of it into your savings. That way you can enjoy some of it, but you're also saving a nice chunk of it. Secondly, save those extra paychecks. And it's even better when you get those extra paychecks. Save them entirely. Now, I realize in the US it's quite common to receive a paycheck every 2 weeks. So there will be some months where you receive, I think, 2 months a year, if my maths is correct. So these 2 extra paychecks are bonanzas. And if you have been used to living off your 2 paychecks a month for 10 months a year, just save those extra checks entirely. If you are not in the US, then we most likely have bonuses. The typical reaction to a bonus check is splurge, and that's easy. It's easy to spend the extra income as it comes in, and most people will do that. We treat ourselves to that nice piece of fashion, make an impulsive decision, or celebrate with friends. There is actually a term for it called mental accounting, and that is basically a very simple term used in our mind to budget and categorize expenditure. When it's not applied to budgeting in this sense is the urge to splurge from a windfall payment.
Yes, and I get my yayas from IKEA.
Now, a better way to handle this is to have a rule. To control that urge, we agree that for any big bonus or windfall, we save 50% and splurge the rest. This way, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and you still get that little bit of something for me. But as you know, I do live and die by my budget, and I have my trusty pizza budget and allowances which allow me to splurge on a monthly basis. So 100% of my unexpected income does go into saving. Subscriptions, guys. Now this makes up the biggest part of the spending audit or review, and it's subscription services. Us millennials have a knack for picking up subscription services, and in my cringe binge days when I used to really early on make videos, I talked about how an audit of my subscriptions alone added about 20k to my retirement pot. It's sensational, it was clickbait, and it was kind of true, but I was young and naive. But the principle is true, guys. Recurring expenses have a drastic impact which compound over time.
Hello?
Now, there are 2 things to remember. Subscription services are highly lucrative for a business because they keep customers as customers beyond the point of when the customer saw value in the actual service. So for instance, if you're single and dating, it makes sense to pay for, I don't know, Tinder, Buzz, or whatever the new trending app is in that particular moment of time. And once you've gained value from it, normally it would just not buy that product anymore. But with subscriptions, you may continue to pay many months where you get no value just because of the effort it takes to cancel. It's quite absurd, and when the value stops, the buck stops. Just sprinkling those facts, guys. Right now, just at the top of my head, I have a chess subscription, Instapaper, Kindle, Netflix, YNAB, Gusto, Meal Prep, Flowers, and I do pretty much use all of them on a daily and weekly basis, so it's fine. But the moment I stop using them, the subscriptions do need to stop. It's easy to do it when you have a budget and reminded of the expenditure. If you don't have a budget, then it's very worthwhile reviewing your subscriptions at least every 6 to 12 months. Personally, I have a reminder in my Notion as a recurring task. I did come across a 2019 customer survey for the US, which found on average an American spends just under $250 a month on subscription services, and 84% of those underestimated what they spent. Let me say that again differently. 85% of people were not getting the value from those subscriptions, which is why they didn't know they spent as much as they did. And that's almost everyone surveyed could actually cull items from the subscription services. And one final tip, which always works, guys, haggle. When I first met my husband and I started haggling for things, he just looked at me with the most distressed face that you could imagine. But the key is haggle your regular subs as well. Companies like recurring revenue, and so often good custom and having a better understanding of how much value you extract from them can also help them price better. For instance, if you are a phone user but barely use your allowances, then all you need to do is call up, maybe threaten to leave the phone company, and they will reduce your bill to a fairer value. And this is with a lot more products than you think. I got my car insurance renewal the other day, and my existing company dropped the rate by about 10%. I went to Meerkat, obviously, and got myself a 40% reduction. And that was pretty nice. Next point I just want to touch on is have goals. It's much harder to save when you don't have a reason for why. Setting a goal or a savings target is one of the best ways to focus on our why are we doing this. Goals can take two forms, either as a percentage or an absolute pound amount. You can also break the goal down for a target. For instance, I want to save 50k for a down payment on a house in 5 years. But having a goal like that can break down how much you need to put away each month. We use a nifty feature on YNAB which is called goals. And it's in there so you can categorize your budget into goals. We love the feature because for every month we can see at a click how much of our income we have saved and how much we're putting into each of our goal buckets. And that's nice because progress and charts and colors and all of that jazz. But if you are keen to save more, then I put together a bunch of videos here which talk about lifestyle creep and budgeting. And one of my favorite recent videos on financial minimalism, where having more money and less stuff are closely linked. And maybe you might want to adopt some of those elements of the strategy so you'll be wealthier too. So click here and I'll see you over there, guys.